Hello, this is Marketia here with another 520 demo. This one was a counter with 7 segment display. I'm here in the Wokwi simulator because for this one I don't actually have my own display or switches, so I had to use the actual simulator for this one. But yeah, this one gave me some trouble, most likely because I still struggle with these classes a bit. But we'll get into a little explanation here. So we got two classes. I had one class is for the GPIO pin, and another class was for the up-down counter itself. GPIO pin, pretty standard, pretty much initializing everything, setting the directions and pull-ups for any of the pins that we needed to connect. Had two basic callable functions for read and write that we'll use when it comes to the actual display or reading the status of the switch. Because if with the switch is on, we're going to run the counter and everything, or flipping it again, we'll run it back down. So, yeah. Into the up-down counter. This is the one that gave me some trouble, so I kind of had to, you see I have print statements here, I had to go into debug mode because I was getting issues where first the counter wasn't working, and then I wasn't sure if the counter was working, then I found out the counter was working through print, but I was getting all sort of funky stuff on the display itself. So essentially this update is where we're actually updating the switch, the counter direction based on the switch state, and that's just what I was printing here to see what the switch state was and what the actual counter value was to make sure it was working properly. And then this function here is where we're actually displaying the number to the display, hence the write. This part was giving me issue because once I got the counter working, I was still getting funky stuff. So I have this comment here. This explained it. I put this here because I was having issues. I guess I was treating it as a cathode, which makes a difference, so that the logic was inverted. I didn't have this. I was just writing the number, and so I wasn't getting anything actually legible over here. Yeah, so once I fixed that here, I was able to actually verify that this matches what I'm seeing on the print statements. And then there's the main function, just initialize everything, standard input output, initialize, pointer to the segment pins, switch pin is pin 9, that's this guy somewhere right here, yeah, see this guy, pin 9, and then just infinite loop calling the update method of counter and using a little delay for debouncing. I should mention the segment pin logic here, all the way at the top. I didn't talk about this. This is essentially the mapping for the pins, segment pins. There's 7 of them. I map based on this 8 right here that we see on the display on the Wokwi website. I map, this is GPIO pins to whatever it is on the display. So pin number 2, GP2, goes to A, B will go to 3, C will go to 4, so on and so forth, and that goes on A through G for 2 through 8, and that's a direct mapping. Then we go here, 10 by 7, 10 numbers 0 through 9, each 7 numbers long is to represent what pattern needs to actually happen on the display for a given number. So for 0, as you can see here, we have A through G, and if I want to display 0, I need to set a 1 on everything except for G. So that's where that logic comes in. This 0 represents G, so we have 0 there, and then it'll display the number 0 when all of these are set to 1. To do 1, it would be B and C. So those are these positions right here. Everything else would be 0, so that these would be lit up on the display, so on and so forth. So that's kind of a general overview of the code. Let's run it and see that it actually works. Otherwise, I could just be talking for no reason. So we see the switch here, it's running. Stops at 9. Count it back down. It's at 0. So it depends on the position of the switch. So if I had ran it and the switch was on this position, it would have been on 0, but it started running right away because it wasn't at 9 and the switch was in the other position, as you can see here. Now, switch state is 0, so it was in switch state 0 and the value wasn't 9, so it went to count up. And that'll just keep happening. And as you see, I can mess it up in the middle, and it works. Alright, well that's it. Thanks for watching this one. Bye-bye.